Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a pretty touchy subject, which you probably saw from the video title. It is the difference between being frugal or being cheap. And yes, there's a difference. They are not one and the same, and frugal is not a cute way for saying cheap. Okay, so let's get into the first major difference. What I've noticed between cheap people and frugal people is that there is a difference between everything being driven by price versus value. Cheap people tend to be solely focused on the price regardless of value. So it's always, how can I get this cheaper? And sometimes, how can I get this for free? Whereas frugal people tend to be more concerned with the value of something. Yes, you are always looking for a deal because of course you want to save money, but you will spend the necessary money to have something of value because in most cases, value means that it'll last longer. And you go about it just with a little bit more grace. Another difference that I see is that in a lot of cases, those who are cheap tend to be a little inconsiderate. So you've ever gone out with a group of friends and you guys are eating, drinking, whatever the case may be, and it comes time for the bill. Now, I know some people prefer to go through the bill and see what it is that Johnny ate, what did Sheena have, and break it down like that. But personally, especially if I'm out with, a group of my close friends, we all have the understanding that we're going to split that bill in half. I don't care if I had 2 chicken wings and you had 5. We go out with the understanding that it's all love. Like, we're all really good friends. We splitting the bill in half. And when I say in half, it may be more than 2 of us, but what I'm saying is we're splitting it equally. There is no picking apart the bill to see who ate what. A lot of times it just takes longer, and I don't really care for it. But I do know that there are cases where you might not have it and you might literally be only able to pay what it is that you had. That's sometimes where cheap people come in, where they pick apart the bill, but it's not picking apart the bill that tends to be where the cheapness comes in. It's more so where, you're looking to just pay what you ate, but you don't take into consideration tax and tip. Your meal was $7 and all you gave up was $8. Like, that's all I had. I ain't paying for nothing else. Like, I've been out with people like that, and you know what I always say? Never going out with you again. I don't play that. We all ate. We all had a good time. Like, I'm a firm believer in you got to say no sometimes. And if you can't afford to be out, you just shouldn't go. Because it looks a little crazy when you're out picking apart things and then you putting up money, but it's not enough to cover what you've eaten. And a lot of times with cheaper people, they tend to order more than what they can afford and then only want to pay a portion of that. What part of the game is that? Like, on the frugal side, most times you're mindful. You're not even going to go out if you know you can't afford to spend how you would like. Like, I'm frugal. I definitely identify with frugal, but I love nice things. I love to spend on experiences. So where I may not buy, where I might not spend $1,000 on something materialistic, I might spend $1,000 to go on a trip somewhere because that's what I love to do. And besides going on a trip, just getting on a plane and going to a hotel, there's so many different things that I'm going to experience for that $1,000. You get what I'm saying? So there's a difference, and you tend to be a little bit more considerate. If you're going to go out to eat, you're going to go out with the notion that, okay, I have to pay for my meal. I also have to think about tax and tip. Can I afford this? That's a huge difference. The last item I want to talk about is entitlement versus understanding. So sometimes cheaper people tend to have a sense of entitlement where it's, I deserve that discount. I deserve to have a lower price. But when you're more on the frugal side, you're going to bargain as much as you can, but you bargain with the understanding that this is a two-way street. It's a negotiation. So I may get what I want, I may not, but you know that you don't necessarily deserve, or you're not necessarily entitled to have what it is that you are bargaining for. Now, I want to make a huge disclaimer. Now, I'm not coming at anyone who identifies as cheap or frugal. I'm frugal, as I mentioned before. But if you see that your habits are along the cheaper side, I think that you need to at least just review and assess how it is you behave in certain environments, and then just check yourself a little bit. It's nothing wrong with wanting to save money or get the best deal, but how do they say, it's not what you do but how you do it. You know, you always want to operate in a place of class and grace, and you want to be considerate to those around you. So you should definitely think about what it is that you identify with, and when you are getting ready to spend money, buy something, go somewhere, think about it. Can I afford this? And if I can't, let me just stay home. I'm not going to embarrass myself, and I don't want to embarrass the people that I'm with. So that's it for my Money Matters powwow. Yes, it's a huge pet peeve of mine how people tend to handle money sometimes. So I wanted to just highlight some differences between being frugal and being cheap. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or any funny stories about when you were out and somebody was just acting cray, put it in the comments below. Till next time. Bye.